My dad neglected me for his narcissistic wife who wants to get rid of me. Now that they have a son, they want me to move out. My dad and my mom separated a long time ago because my mom messed around a lot with substances. Her pregnancy was very high risk because she found it really hard to quit smoking and drinking. My dad made her quit cold turkey, but he would always find her with a drink in hand. I didn't suffer a lot for it, but it definitely messed me up. When my mom gave birth, my dad went through with the divorce and got full custody of me. Since it was just us for a long time, I got very used to his presence and being the only girl in his life. He was a very busy man, but he always made time to watch movies with me, take me on vacation out of state. We even went to Disney World once. It was amazing with it just being the two of us. But then Nina came into the picture. Nina was my dad's wife whom he married 5 years ago. I'll admit I didn't like her. She stole my dad away all the time. She would constantly want to go on dates with him, so I had to stay with a babysitter or by myself when I got older. It got really lonely and I missed spending time with my dad. It seemed like Nina had it out for me and wanted him to start a new life with him and without me. She never even tried to bond with me. My dad would push for us to do girly things together, but Nina would always say she's too tired or say she already had plans. I got the hint and stopped involving myself with her. Because of this distance between us, my dad started to forget I existed. He would make dinner for the two of us and he got into the habit of only making portions for two. This meant that whenever he cooked, I would have to eat some leftovers or heat up some frozen food because Nina would always eat all of it. I've tried to talk to my dad about it, but he says I'm young and still trying to adjust to this life. I told him it's been 5 years already, I should be used to it by now, but things only get worse because Nina hates me. He tried to tell me that Nina was also struggling to adjust to having a daughter, so I should cut her some slack. Since then, I stopped confiding in my dad because he never took my problems seriously. I also had no other support to fall back on because we moved away from my grandparents when my dad married Nina. His family also didn't get along with Nina because I used to tell them how she treated me when we still lived close to them. This caused a lot of problems and we had to move away, which I'm still sad about to this day. I didn't know this for a while, but my dad and Nina were trying to have a child but couldn't. They kept this a secret from me, so right off the bat they weren't on to a good start. Then, they used a sperm donor because my dad found out he couldn't have any more kids. With that came along my half-brother Mark. Sharing my dad with Nina was already a lost cause and now I had to share him with a sibling too? It really felt like Nina was trying to keep me out of this family since she was really pushy on the two of them having kids. Seeing my dad felt like a miracle since Mark was born. We used to spend 2 days a week together without Nina, but he told me he couldn't do that anymore with a new baby in the house. He explained that he couldn't leave his wife alone for 2 days a week with a newborn. I was obviously very angry about it because Nina had taken so much away from me. I kept distancing myself from them and they didn't even bother to check up on me. I wasn't seeking attention, but they hadn't heard from me or seen me in nearly a week and my dad never asked about it. Well, 3 days ago, he finally talked to me, but it wasn't for the reason I wanted. I thought he was going to tell me he wanted to hang out with me like we used to or just have a nice conversation with me, but no. Him and Nina had decided to make a nursery for Mark instead of having him in their bedroom. I asked what was the problem with that and he said they just wanted their privacy. So, our home has 2 master bedrooms and 2 bedrooms on the other side of the house. Those 2 bedrooms are empty, so it was perfect for Mark, except Nina thought it was oh so difficult to go to the other side of the house multiple times at night when Mark woke up. I said that's why they should have him in their room, but my dad suggested something so much better. He wanted me to give up my master bedroom for this little baby. It wasn't up for negotiation either. He wanted me to pack my stuff up and move out of my room. I didn't even try to fight it because I had enough. I just said okay and started packing. I overheard him telling Nina that I had agreed and she got so happy. She started talking about how she would redecorate my room, rid the walls of the ugly paint color I had chosen, and just leave no trace of me ever being in that bedroom. I was pissed and called my uncle to come pick me up. When he came, I saw him talking to my dad and I just said, "You can give my room to your son now," and we left. He texted me that I could only stay for 1 night, but I told my uncle I needed as much time apart from them as possible. I explained the whole situation to him, how Nina hates me, my dad won't listen to me anymore, and this new kid is replacing me. He let me stay for nearly a week. In that time, I saw my grandparents and I also told them everything. They were not happy at all and called my dad to tell him how bad of a father he is, along with some other names. I heard my dad say he didn't trust their judgment because I'm obviously the favorite, so of course they're going to take my side. I was sad that was his whole takeaway on this whole thing. It wasn't just about taking my side. It's about how I've been neglected ever since Nina entered into our lives and he refuses to see that.